Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another game, another you, another me, in the bottom side of the map, playing as the blue Skirmishes. His name is Thelonious Monk, the jazz pianist. If you guys haven't checked out Thelonious Monk, I probably would say don't do it if you never checked out jazz before. He's a bit of a wild horse, but he's a fun guy. He likes to dance around the piano. He's a bit strange, but his opponent today is much more of the common sort. He plays Age Mythology. He likes long walks on the beach. His number is 0469532111, and his name is Keto Severo Jones Bones the Fourth from the Uwu clan, and he's playing as the red Oranos. We're on the map Tundra here, and I thought this was a really interesting matchup. I haven't seen the Oranos versus Tsukiyomi matchup in quite a while, if not ever, actually. The whole thing about Oranos, and hopefully we'll see this in this game, it's just why I've clicked on it, is that what Oranos gets really counters what the Tsukiyomi god gives, and that is in timing attacks. You can really lengthen out the defense or what you can defend using sky passages with Oranos, so you can completely play through all of that. There might be a completely different route to go for Oranos as well, but I have to assume here that Keto is going to be making usage of those sky passages, and it does also look like he's going to be going for Oceanus here. I think if you do want to go for Prometheus in this day and age, you probably want to go for the hero citizen route early on, or a really fast advance with early pressure with Kronos, right? So we'll see how it's all going to go. Over on this left-hand corner of the map, we do have ourselves the Dwarven Calipers, which is going to be the Siege, Food, Wood, Gold, and Favor Cost, minus 20%. Over onto this side here, it is the Dar's Scepter, which is minus 25% for the farms. And there are two more relics on the map. In the middle of the map here, we do have ourselves the Feathers of Fenrir. And am I missing one? Or is one already being picked up? Oh, there it is. And we have Keto grabbing the Bow of Artemis here. There is some ideas for Atlantean against Japan to actually go for mass counter barracks to kick the game off with. So Catapultes for the Naginata Riders, Terma for the Yumi Archers, and Karabalista for the Samurai. And that's kind of all Japan can make in this first age. Obviously, once the Shinobi start coming through, you do need some high damage dealers, and that's where you can start going into things like Murmillo or Fnatic. But in the classical age, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to build much other than counter barracks units. So we'll see if that's the way which Keto is going to go. He is going for pretty early Empyrean speed, though, so making Murmillos does make some sense for the moment. Meanwhile, Inari Okami, no surprises here for Thelonious Monk. I'm pretty interested in how he's going to be approaching this matchup as well. He has played a lot of Tsukiyomi, so he's going to be pretty aware of what's going to come for him. He does open up with a stable, which I guess is kind of standard, but also when I'm thinking about playing versus Atlantean, making Cav always kind of makes me shudder a little bit. You have the Caladria, which slows the Cav down, the Catapultes, which absolutely erase the Cav, and life gets really difficult for you. As the Shirigumo with the Kitsune wandering forward, she does get to 4.2 speed here with that Kitsune helping her out, but in the main base there is already double military barracks up for Keto. So now Thelonious Monk is going to have to think about moving away from his cavalry already. Now he could just go stables and try and get the horse archer pretty quick, build a couple of cav, raid around, and then go for the heroic age. But in doing that, that gives a lot of play for the sky passage. You can already see that Keto's in this corner here, snuck a sky passage as Thelonious Monk. He's still scouting around, trying to spot all this stuff. He's got his Kitsune over onto this back. Has not been able to see what's going on in that corner, so Keto does get away with it for now, and he will be able to eat all of this hunt while leaving hunt in his main base. This also gives him access to these gold mines as well from afar. So it could be a crazy risk to wander over here and grab this. But one little cheeky idea with Uranus that I don't see many Uranus players doing is early on, just dropping little walls down here and here. And if you have that sky passage, and maybe even on the back, you have that sky passage here. If your opponent comes and knocks this down, you can wander through the wall, come in here, build the sky passage here, retreat back, or you can at least not need to completely abandon that position when an army comes to shut it down. As Bite of the Shark coming through. No real surprises on this one. This Bite of the Shark is such a big technology to have for these sort of parts of the game. And we are actually going to be seeing some Onnomusha coming through. So one thing that is a little scary when playing as Japan versus Uranus is the Carnivora. This thing going to be one hitting your samurai, and that's just a lot of HP or a lot of resources to lose to a god power that is recastable. You got that 20 favor Carnivora, 25 favor Carnivora, even 30 favor Carnivora. All of those are well worth it to drop down and snipe one of those samurai immediately. As the Murmillo swinging through here, the villagers will have to jump into the tower. And a lot of idle time paused here is the shockwave onto a single villager. Does he get it? He doesn't get it. The Miko keeps it alive. The rest of the villagers charging for the tower. One villager will end up going down as the middle Murmillo getting caught a little bit, getting sent packing. But they should be able to get back home. No problems here. As Kino can also very simply take this fight by dropping a Carnivora down onto that samurai. He just needs to make sure that the samurai is going to be the one that gets eaten here. He hasn't actually even focused it. There he goes. And that's going to be at least a samurai picked and the Juragumo. And now Kito is well and truly on his path to the promised land. Over onto the right-hand corner, going to be eating up a couple of Aurochs and all the other good stuff as the Murmillo just going to hang into the center of the map. And Kito is just saying, he's just saying, you know what? Not only am I just going to keep making Murmillos, but I'm going to add on an extra military barracks. Thelonious Monk here probably should be dropping a secondary dojo and just making samurai at this point. Samurai are basically like your Hypaspist, right? So if your opponent is only going to be making Myrmidon, spamming out Hypaspist makes a lot of sense. As Kito pokes his head forward. The other thing Kito could probably do is get himself out a couple of extra Caladria. They really don't... He's got an extra one coming in. They really don't cost anything. Like, these units pay for themselves in spades. Sure, you look at it and it's like, okay, it's 125 plus 12 favor. But all it takes is one burst heal, 2 burst heals, and they've paid themselves off. Maybe 3 burst heals. But just keeping the units alive, and they've paid themselves off. It's such a valuable unit to just be adding into your comp. Meanwhile, Thelonious Monk playing some nice defense here for the time being. He does still have... Well, he's trying to get a heroic age in. This sort of makes sense. He's throwing a market down instead of the armory, though, which does make me question exactly what he's going to be going for. He's got Fujin pre-queued here, which is really, really interesting. He's got himself 3 Miko out. He's got 70 favor in the bank. Normally, you would expect Hachiman. But what does Fujin give you here? Super strong archers come from both sides. All the Hero Murmillo getting converted to avoid the swampland. As this Miko will get smacked, will go down. And he actually leaves the shrine there as well. As now Kito makes his way down onto this hunt, but the villagers will pull back quickly. And I think Kito's going to see those villagers. He does have a shockwave if he wants to use it in one favor. As he charges 40, we'll at least kill off one villager there before potentially needing to pull elsewhere. As Hyperion actually on the way, and it is indeed going to be Fujin for Thelonious Monk. He gets the advance in really quick because he is Tsukiyomi, But when your opponent's got full Mermilla heroes, what are you going for? What's the idea here is the big question. Carnivora getting dropped down. The Oni comes forward. He could use the Smiting Gust to just buy him some time here. But that doesn't seem to be what he would want to be going for anyways. He's making himself out. Sashimono Bannerman, Yumi Horse Archers coming through. And you can also grab this technology here, Gale's Fury, which is going to speed up the Yumi Horse Archer, as well as give them a little bit more DPS, taking down the attack speed ever so slightly. There's the shrine over here. Gonna get cleaned up. And more Yumi Horse Archers on the way. Now, after all is said and done, there's still a little bit of gold left, so Thelonious Monk does have some time. He can also move up here and obviously send the army flying, but I think he'd want to save his... I think he'd want to save his god power for Chaos in this situation. It's a nice counter to Chaos here. There's the army charging onto this one. I think Kido doesn't actually use that special there onto the Naginata Riders, and Thelonious Monk gets away with just a little bit there. But you can see, look at these sky passages all spread out. There's almost going to be nowhere for Thelonious Monk to actually use these units. Meanwhile, Contarius, the unit of choice here, is going to go for Mermillo Contarius, which does make a whole lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense here against the Yumi Horse Archer. So villagers can pop over here, grab this Auroch, be very, very safe. And this army of archers searching for the time being. We've got that Gale's Fury pre-queued. Wisdom of the Nine as well. Can boost these Yumi Horse Archers up to 5.5, 5.7 speed even. Armory coming down for Thelonious Monk as well. He can still go for that new moon onto the armory if that's what he wants to do. Still got that option. One citizen sniping there. One Oracle as well. Not bad. Oh, leaves it alive before sniping that one down. And then going to pull back. So far, so good for Thelonious Monk. I think he's gotten through the worst of it. And he probably just has to wait out the armory upgrades. And then he can get himself that really big timing. With all the upgrades to come through. All the bronze. On the flip side here, Kido, he's already gotten a few upgrades in himself. And I don't think he's going to be behind here once this new moon comes through. Meanwhile, over onto this side, the Contarius charging through a bit of a chaos to come down to prevent these units from escaping. Love the chaos on a small amount of units. That's a huge amount of value there. As Swampland gets dropped, that's going to be one Contarius down as the rest just dive into the Sky Passage and get away. Very, very low value Swampland there. And Thelonious Monk's still not getting his armory upgrades. And Kido, his army looks terrifying here. Absolutely terrifying. We see a palace coming up over onto this position. There is this angle of dropping the god power, smiting gust onto this army to take out all of these citizens. Shockwave coming down there though, so now there's no real way to actually use this one. A couple of horse archers do get left behind as now Thelonious Monk can take a little bit of a fight here, at least get a couple of shots in. As the new moon gets dropped onto the armory, only getting full copper, missing out on iron upgrades as Thelonious Monk feels like he can't even afford any of it. But Kido now fully set up on the defense. He can actually go to the Mythic Age now if he wants to. He's got all the options. He can go for a big attack here onto this position in 80 seconds with full bronze upgrades. Hero Contarius charge forward. They will be able to... Oh, a little bit of a ghost building to come down. Thelonious Monk a little too slow on that one. Almost manages to pick off a Contarius, but not quite able to do so. And we'll see if Thelonious Monk can get out of this bind that Keto has him in for the time being. Charges in onto this spot. There's a bit of an opening on that wood line. That hurts so much. It happens so much. You have to be so careful on these wood lines. The villagers are very happily going to be chopping through them. They don't care that they open your base up. They're just going to keep going. You've got to be very, very mindful. Yeah, we've got heavy stables and guardhouse soldiers actually getting bought here. As Thelonious Monk looks like he's going to have to take a fight on this defense. He does have full pop, so this could go well for Thelonious Monk here. But militarily speaking, armory upgrade speaking, it's looking like Keto has the advantage. There's also chaos here, but he doesn't have the favor to drop it. As the horse archers on the back sitting here getting huge damage. Couple of destroyers there, however, will be causing some issues for the Gale Fury Yuumi horse archer. Continues to pull back, trying to take out all these units here. He's got a nice little choke point to run through these houses. And it looks like he might be okay. Villagers are falling during this fight, though, as the chaos does come down there in the end, allowing just a little bit more damage. They actually kill each other really quickly as well, because they got that 1.2x versus Cav. Now the army of Keto going to continue to wail in onto this position. He's got a lot of resources in the bank. There's the Contarius, Murmillos charging forward. Another smiting gust gets dropped down as the units will be landing inside that main base there. But they are Contarius, so they can very quickly just retreat, no problems. You see Thelonious Monk getting out the Miko. A couple more Yuumi horse archers. Thelonious Monk just in a little cage here is the only issue. He's managing to get himself out some units. He's behind by nearly 22 villages. He doesn't have another new moon. He doesn't have any favor income. He's making some more Miko to try and heal up his army, which is a nice usage of those Mikos. Huge amount of bonus resources to just get. Of course, as soon as the healing stops, now Mikos will no longer get any value, but still well worth doing. As the Contarius is just going to poke down some houses. Any little bits of damage here is gigantic. On the side of Keto, slowly getting himself out. A couple more armory upgrades. Up to the top side now. These Yuumi horse archers going to be going after the villagers here. There's no sky passage here. This could be an amazing defense if there was one in the center of the map. But not there just yet. One villager goes down as they can just pop up to the top here. No problems. It's the army of Keto trying to lock these guys off, but decides against that. Says, I got my second town center coming through now. Let's just enjoy that. The Thelonious Monk now has himself his army back out, and the Yati Spearmen are going to be absolutely key moving forward. Of course, there are Murmillos, but these Yati Spearmen are going to be amazing. Plus, with the backline of the Yuumi horse archers, should be a really, really difficult fight here for Keto to take. We'll see if he can micro it, keep those Yati Spearmen off of that back line as the town center will come up. Another citizen goes down. And Shockwave onto the back line there is going to be big. Carnivora as well to come down. And Thelonious Monk, does he have enough stuff? Are his Yati Spearmen attacking the right units there? The Carnivora goes down inside of this army. There's only 6 Yati after all is said and done. Population differential is looking kind of close, but it's looking like Keto might be able to break through this position. It's so close, though. Both players dropping down. It's 1.2k to 2.4k as Thelonious Monk is breaking through the army. He manages to beat the army here, but economically speaking, Keto's still got plenty of resources. On the other side, where are the resources for Thelonious Monk? He's chopped out all the wood over here. He doesn't want to get onto this wood line. This wood line's got barely any wood in it. He can move over here, right out in the middle of nowhere. And now Thelonious Monk charging up to the top side, looking for some more things to pick off. The oracles will pop into the sky passage. No problems. Over onto this spot here. We'll spot a oracle to try and take out. But the longer this goes on, the more units, obviously, the more units that Keto's going to be able to make. Oop, that's the Caladria going to get picked. And those Yumi Horse Archers need to come back. There will be some Yati Spearmen to scare off the Contarius. And that'll force Keto away from this spot. He does notice. He pulls back. And now a whole bunch of Murmillo getting created. This is such an interesting comp here because both players' comps are countering each other, basically. The Murmillos will counter those Yati Spearmen. The Contarius will counter the Horse Archer. But you'd almost wonder if maybe making Arcus here wouldn't have been a terrible move for Keto, because they outrange the Yumi Horse Archer and they can snipe off the Yati Spearmen really, really easily because they've only got themselves a small amount of pierce armor. I think they start with like 10% or something. Does he have the full upgrades? Yeah, he's got bronze shield, so they'll start with 10% armor. As Keto has to pull back and Thelonious Monk into the middle of the map. Oh, villager goes down to the Auroch. You hate to see it. Still searching around the map for gold villagers to pick off as these villagers back underneath the palace. Of course, Keto can simply just retreat up to the top side. He's got this side, another towns that are coming up for Keto as he's slowly putting himself in a position where his economy is going to be so absurdly large that it won't matter what Thelonious Monk does. He is picking off oracles. I mean, Keto's up to 10 oracles. Losing one oracle here, it doesn't even matter to him. He can just rebuild it as well. It's 100 resources. He's so far in front on the economy. There's a Contarius popping around here. They managed to hit the Yumi Horse Archers. Chaos gets dropped down as well, so they can't retreat. And that there is gigantic as he picks off nearly every single one of those Yumi Horse Archers with the Chaos. But doesn't overchase, just gets a little victory, pulls back, no problems. The only thing here that Thelonious Monk has going for himself is he's very, very close to Bushido tier 3. He's got this bowsaw pre-queued, some little upgrades that aren't terrible to grab. It's like the signal fires upgrade. Oh, he taps out. The signal fires upgrade or the upgrades for your buildings. Once you have about probably 2 dojos, it's worth it to grab that upgrade. If you have, I think, hang on, actually, I don't know what the costing is on it. Where are you? Dojo here. That's 225. So you probably need about 3 dojos or something before you get another one. Of course, these ones here, it's going to be about 4 dojos. Also, 4 guard houses, 4 levy stables. And this is really, really good for Tsukiyomi because it adds to his Bushido. But Keto here proving too strong for the Tsukiyomi. I felt like this, I feel like this game here kind of went really wrong for Thelonious Monk on this big attack that happened when he didn't really have much going for himself. He didn't get the armory upgrades as he went to the heroic age, which really, really hurt him. Because if he could get to that full bronze, he's probably able to put some real significant pressure onto Keto. But Keto did a really nice job of just using these sky passages, jumping from one side of the map to the other side, and doing what he knows how to do, and then that's play defense. While also putting some really nice offense in here as well. Got some nice villager picks. Take a quick look at the civilian difference. Obviously, Atlanteans will creep up first, but their villagers do only work at 1.5x of a regular villager. Of course, they don't have any walking time involved, so it does. There's some math that goes into exactly how it works, but the villager losses early on did really hurt our main man, Thelonious Monk, in this game. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.